Well, welcome to the Kristi Jones Show, where it's all about living your life to the fullest. I'm a life coach, speaker, and business owner in multifamily real estate, and I've had wild success in multifamily housing for over 25 years now. I am so passionate about helping others merge their success and lead a fulfilling life, and I bring it all together right here on this podcast. So join me and let's get started to live your life to the fullest. Well, hey, my friend, welcome back to another week right here on the podcast show. So glad that we're hanging out. This is going to be really cool. And I'm doing this episode way different than I've done others. This is episode 90. Episode 90, and this is going to be the last episode for 2024. I am basically 2 years in on doing this podcast show, and it's been a wild ride. It's been a learning experience. It's had ups, downs, frustrating parts, fun parts, and I'm honestly, I think it's okay for us to be proud of ourselves and be like, yeah, you did it. I am proud of myself for making it 2 years on the podcast and just chugging along and bringing you material, talks, interviews, thoughts, concepts that help you live your life to the fullest. Here's what I'm going to dive into today. I'm going to give you a little bit of a life update. I'd like to wrap up the year with just a few things, just touching on a few life updates to share with you. And then I want to talk about where I'm taking my coaching business in 2025 and some new developments there. Also want to share with you, so don't cut away too soon, because I want to share with you a really cool new habit that we can do together come 2025 that is really it's going to be one of those things that kind of stacks your wins as you go through the year. And I want to take you through that. And so we can do that together. So I want to share that with you today. So anyways, yeah, episode 90 today on the podcast. And I know that there's another Thursday in the month, but Christmas is next week. And the day after that, I kind of just want, it to be just a chill week in general. So I'm not going to publish a podcast for that final week of December, and instead really use that time to enjoy the family, enjoy the holidays, and also for myself to spend some time looking at the things that I want to clarify for myself, for my business, as I go into next year. So life update, gosh, there's so many things. I really encourage you to do this as well as you wrap up a year. I actually like to do this quarterly for my personal life and also any business goals I might have. But I think it's because quarterly I do better in like shorter time frames. I'm not going to wait a year before I step back and look at things or get clear on something. But it's really cool at the end of the year to reflect back on the whole year. And so as I was doing that, I'm like, man, there's a lot of things that have taken place this year, and a lot of milestones, a lot of challenges that I've come up against, a lot of wins that I've been able to celebrate. So my life, just like your life, has had a lot of what you'd call wins, also some losses or setbacks, whatever word you want to put to it, but something that kind of frustrates you just a tad. And we've all shared those together. So it's really, we all share the same dynamics of what the ebbs and flows of life, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it's really cool to kind of pause and look back on those. And so a quick life update, I would say, the year I added another I was blessed with another grandchild. I just get to enjoy all the fun parts. If you haven't stepped into that season of being a grandparent yet, know that it's super cool. It's so fun. And I don't know, it's just one of those things that for me anyways, like I didn't really understand it until it happened to me. And it comes with a whole different bag of feelings. It's just so magical. But I got another, as you know, I have a grandson that came in 2021 and then a granddaughter that came well, gosh, she was supposed to be due in April, but it ended up being at first of early, like right at the beginning of May. So that was a really great way to start that month off. So that was really exciting. Also celebrated a year anniversary of my husband's open heart surgery and his double bypass procedure that was very unexpected the year before, but making it that whole year milestone was really cool and something to celebrate, and really such a great opportunity to reflect back on what the last year and the what it had looked like, and really how we walked into that season and how we grew through that season. So that was really fun. I say fun because it was something to celebrate, a year that we have gone through that whole ordeal, and not taking that lightly at all. I mean, it's truly a miracle. I mean, surgeons are just, they're so brilliant. We really didn't have a lot of time to like look into or really research the procedure. It wasn't something that was planned. A lot of times those type of things aren't. So, did not necessarily know the type or the extent of that procedure. And until we went through it and we were like, oh my, like it's a miracle what they can do. Absolute miracle. So that was a really big celebration this year. And then I've had so many, and I encourage you to look at this for yourself too. That's why I'm sharing it. I've had some really amazing gains when it comes to my goals and my business. And then I've also been faced with challenges that what I love about it is it forces me to find solutions. It gets me back in that solution-oriented mindset of not just focusing on what is frustrating me or the roadblock that I'm up against, but finding the solution to the situation. And I've definitely come through that throughout the year, and I've really enjoyed it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's just how I'm wired, but not that I like being frustrated, but I definitely don't stay in that space of frustration very long. And I enjoy the process, I guess is what I would say, of figuring something out. And so I've definitely had a lot of those opportunities this year too. And then, I would say that there's been so many beautiful things in terms of friendships and relationships, that have really come front and center for me this year. And that's been, again, something I'm so thankful for and I don't take lightly at all. And there's also been really challenging things in relationships that have come up. And the one thing that I would say, appreciated about this year is that I've not been in this place, even through the hard things that I've walked through this year. I haven't been in a place of resistance of whatever the thing is. And that's an interesting, that's a very, well, I say interesting place to be, but it's very comforting, because whatever challenge or discontentment or problem or hard conversation that's had to take place this year, I have not felt that upheaval of resistance. I've had a real calmness about just a very huge calm feeling about it, knowing that everything presents itself for a reason. I absolutely trust everything unfolds as it's supposed to. I feel extremely aligned with my life and my purpose, and my ability to stay true to myself is really on point, and I'm not wavering on that. So I think that just brings a whole feeling of peace and calm into any situation that you walk into. And so that's something that's really been with me this year, throughout the year. Um, I think I've gotten a lot of clarity too on um, situations, relationships, work situations, some things maybe work-wise that I was fuzzy on, that I was trying to get clear. And when I'm trying to force it to happen, that, because sometimes I want to make it happen and I have to always remind myself to allow, and I just kind of draw that in. So the more I relax and surrender, the more I allow it to unfold. And that's really presented itself and been proof to me this year for sure. And obviously, I mean, I go on and on. I really have so much to be thankful for. Um, but it's really, sometimes it's the challenges that refine us and that really give us the good lessons, the things that we can really, it's like sandpaper, right? Sandpaper, like it's a little uncomfortable, it's a little gritty, but it smooths everything out, polishes that wood in the process, and I enjoy that process. I know that might sound weird to say because sometimes we just want things to be easy breezy, nice and easy. And that's great when it's like that. But there's something about the grittiness, the sandpaper, the things where you feel backed in a corner. And I will say, one thing for sure this year is I've got my own back, without a doubt. I definitely have stood in that for sure, throughout the year. This has been a year for me to, not that this is the first time I've done that, but when you're in a corner or when you feel on an island, you must have your own back. You must know who you are and know your worth. And I've been crystal clear on that all year. And that's been a really good feeling. And so let me say, gosh, what else? I mean, I just feel like there's so much, I mean, a whole year. That's why I do this quarterly, because I get to the end of the year, I'm like, heck, I can't remember everything. A lot happens in a year. But really just life update, I wanted to kind of share with you. Like I'm just really thankful, extremely thankful. And there's a lot of things in my life update wise. I mean, there's a lot of things that are like up in the air. We've got so many things that my husband and I were still kind of like deciding future things, where we're going to spend more time, where we're going to, live. We split our time between Oklahoma and San Diego, Norman, Oklahoma, and actually Carlsbad, California right now. And so what does that look like? We're kind of reevaluating, and where else do we want to be spending a lot of our time? So that has definitely been on the drawing board. And there's a lot of things that are just like, I don't need to know. Like, I am okay not knowing. Um, I like that I can focus on the present moment and enjoy what is now, knowing that everything is temporary. And that's another term that I've really come to accept and come to terms with, I would say this year in 2024, is understanding that everything is temporary. And which is great. Like if it's a problem or if it's something uncomfortable, it's great to remind myself, like, this is temporary. Nothing lasts forever. But also, like, what about how do you accept that thought and that thought process when everything's great and you love your life right now and you don't want anything to change? That's a hard pill to swallow too, knowing that everything is temporary. Not saying that it's going to change for the worst. I'm just saying that all circumstances, everything is temporary in life as we move through our life. Everything's temporary. And I've really gotten super comfortable with that. I'm like completely okay with that. I'm like, this is how I wake up. I'm like, this is how life is today. And I'm going to enjoy today. And I'm going to bust my butt today on whatever my goals are, whatever I've got in front of me. I'm going to love hard today. I can say in 2024, I have definitely, without a lot of effort, I've done this in the past, but it's taken a lot of reminder. And it's kind of like when you start anything new, right? It takes a while till it becomes like a routine habit to where you're like, you don't even have to think about it anymore. I have looked at life. I've looked at situations. I've looked at circumstances through the lens of love, is how I like to describe it. So instead of looking at things through a lens of fear or through a lens of judgment or through a lens of, I don't understand where you're coming from. I don't know why you see it that way, why you're saying that, whatever. I look at it through a lens of love. I and it's really like by doing that, I have to say that my year, probably just like your year this year, has had many ups and downs and side turns and a range of emotions based on changing circumstances as we've moved through the year. And I have to say that I'm definitely in a season and I'm in this place, which is so amazing to be, that I think the word is that keeps coming to mind is unbothered. I'm truly unbothered. I'm unbothered by changing circumstances. I'm unbothered by someone's comment. I'm unbothered by a shift in a situation. So unbothered is like the word that I feel would really describe um, how one of the feelings that have come up a lot this year. And it's through looking at things through a lens of love, accepting, accepting. I think I have learned a lot about acceptance in the course of my life, especially I'd say in the last probably 3, 4, 5 years. I think acceptance is accepting what is and then choosing my thoughts about it. And I've just this year's been, I want to say, I use the word easy, but nothing's ever easy, right? It's been more habitual for me to really focus in on choosing my thoughts. As I quickly identify something that is a thought that is not true for me, a thought that doesn't resonate with my values, a thought that doesn't help me become or be right now the best version of me. And so those thoughts don't hang around long, and it doesn't take a lot of effort to move through that. And I mean, it's definitely been a lot of years at work at that, but this has been a year I have to say that that's kind of come front and center. It's been easy, easy for me, I will say, to be unbothered, to accept, and to continue, regardless of circumstances, to continue to see things through that lens of love. So I am taking this month, I talked about it a little bit, in the last couple podcast episodes, that especially last week, about really taking some time for yourself this month and, take a look at this past year and make sure that instead of moving forward in autopilot, that you are getting clear on what your intentions are, what you want to create in your world, the life that you want to build, and what do you need to tweak? What do you need to change? Where do you spend your time? What kind of thoughts are you having that you need to get rid of? Because the worst thing we can do is just, again, be an autopilot, carry all that crap with us going into 2025, when we could be taking this time right now to get clear on what's important to us, clear on what our goals are, clear on the direction of our life, both professionally and personally. And so when you're able to get clear, man, it makes the whole process run so much smoother. So really take advantage of this time of month, this time of the year in December, to get that clarity that you need to. I don't have a ton of appointment openings, but I do have some. I just gonna include this in the podcast in case you're like, Kristi, I can't get clear. I'm so scattered. I do have some 90-minute sessions that are still available to book for that are like strategy clarity calls to help you kind of get your feet on the ground as you go into the beginning of next year. And so if that's just kind of you're just wanting that, and it's just we do 90 minutes, it's intensive because it's 90 minutes. I'm really straightforward. We get straight to the meat and potatoes. We don't have a whole lot of time to dilly-dally around. So I have a few time slots available if that's you. Go down to the show notes, find my email address, drop me an email, and I'll send you the link to sign up for that. Okay, so that's just life update going on for me. We just got to spend a week watching two of our youngest grandchildren, which was so fun. 3 and 6 months, 7 months actually. 3 years old and 7 months. And mom and dad were on a trip, and it was so fun. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. It was a busy week. It was a fulfilling week. And it was really nice to be able to step away from and control my schedule to where I could do that and be 100% available. And it was just so much fun. They call me Gigi, those two little sweet babies. And it was just so much fun. My husband and I had a really, really nice time. And again, as that was going on, I was thinking, this, these opportunities don't come along very often and in life. And what a precious time that undisturbed time that we were able to share with them. And again, do not take that for granted because that's just those opportunities don't always come along. And I just feel so grateful that I got to experience that I got to be a part of that little time of their life. So that's been my December. It's been nice. It's definitely been nice. December's been good. And I'm just really looking forward to the holidays. And I hope you are too. If this is a hard season for you right now, maybe, and I talked about this last week in the podcast, and you're like, I am not looking forward to this. This month has been super hard. The holidays are really hard for me right now. Go back and listen to episode 89. At the very end of that episode, I share with you some thoughts and what to do if that's where you find yourself right now, be it grief, be it like I mentioned divorce in that episode. I talked about, losing a loved one, whatever it might be. Like if you're in the muck of that right now, go listen to the end of that podcast, because I get it. Like I said in that podcast, I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. So go listen to that one if you need some food for thought on that subject. So next thing I want to talk about, wrapping up 2024, is I want to share with you a little bit, kind of just what's been going on in my head and what's changing for me business-wise when it comes to the coaching business and where I'm taking my coaching business in 2025. I'm really excited about this. I know that at the beginning of my podcast, I talk a little bit in the intro about multifamily housing, and I've been in that business for, is it 27 years now? 26, going on 27 years. It's been a huge chunk of my life, my professional life, and 22 years of that as a business owner in that industry. And it's just been such a profound part of my contributions of me creating an understanding for myself. I talk a lot about success and fulfillment, and that whole journey, that business, multifamily business, that's what created all of that for me, of understanding success and fulfillment, all of that embedded within that industry for the journey that I took. in my professional life. And so I've decided that in 2025, my coaching practice right now and what I do, I'm actually I'm going to start honing in, and I'm going to be offering, if you follow me on social, you'll notice things coming up more specific to helping leaders in the multifamily housing industry. I am really excited to bring this flourishing edge specifically, and a community and a membership, things specific for helping those in multifamily, be it leaders, be it managers, be it business owners, be it suppliers that service multifamily. I'm I've got so much that I'm so excited to share so that they can continue to thrive, to have success and fulfillment, to go from like spinning your wheels to being a complete badass in the industry, from like chaos to clarity. From I've got so many things on the drawing board, things that I've already have started creating that are going to be rolling out in 2025. I'm very excited. It's specifically, this conversation is just going to be so amazing. I mean, it's just going to be so great. I'm so excited to really take all the years of experience that I have in that industry and pour into other individuals that are building their dreams, creating their success. I want to make sure they're bringing in that fulfillment, but I am so ready to bring that level of expertise to the people that want the info, that want the knowledge, that want to know, what do I do next? How do I lead my teams effectively? How do I step out of chaos? How do I make these things happen? I'm ready to bring that to the multifamily housing industry and to the leaders in that industry, and I cannot wait. So that is a big focus for 2025, and I'm on fire about it. I'm so excited. And then the last thing is, I want to challenge you to do this with me in 2025. I would like to talk to you about this new habit that we can do. We can do this together. I'm going to be doing it. I hope you do it with me. I didn't do it all this year. I've just been doing it for a little while, and I really like it. So now we're going to do this all year. And I'll probably come up with something where, if you want to do this with me, like, we're going to check in with each other. We're not going to wait a whole year to see how it's going. We're going to do like monthly check-ins on this, but hear me out. So this is a new habit. It's going to be super fun. So basically, creating this new habit for 2025 is going to be something weekly that you're going to sit down and do. You're going to grab, like, here's what I like to write things down. I know we can type it in our phone, but I have to touch stuff. I'm like a physical touch it, feel it, like I want to read it. That's just how I am. So I'm going to take a piece of paper, and every week what you do is you write down something that was great about that week, something that was great for you about that week. Write it down, and then you're going to tear it off. You can do as cute as you want about this. You might want to do cute note cards. I might do that too. Right now, I've just been doing it on regular paper, but I write down what's been great about that week. It might be what brought you joy. Don't overcomplicate this. What did you love about this week? What was great about this week? And it might just be, you don't have to just stick to one thing. You might write down several things, but document it, write it down. Then we're going to fold it up like so, and we're going to drop it in a jar. Get a cute jar, get a vessel, get a vase, get a box, get something and set it in your office, in your house, by your bed, whatever, on your nightstand. And every week you're going to drop that in there. And then by doing this all year, at the end of 2025, you're going to sit down in the month of December as 2025 wraps up, and you're going to read through all of those note cards. And you're going to build the momentum, remind yourself, keep yourself in that energetic state of remembering and focusing on what was good about that year. Here's what happens is that, like, right now, we'll think, oh, last January, I don't know. I mean, you're struggling. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing in January. I don't remember what was great about January. Or maybe you do remember, but a lot of times, like our brains were just, they're packed so full, right, all the time that it's really hard to sometimes, unless you've had something super big, like a big milestone, like that's great. But let's face it, like every month we don't have huge milestones, right? Like you don't have weddings, you don't have anniversaries, you don't have a high school graduation, watching a child graduate from high school. Those things don't happen every week, right? So we cannot just live for the milestones. Hear me out. We can't just live for the big major milestones of life. What we need to do is weekly remind ourselves of what is good. What was the win? What did I love about this week? What's something I want to remember about this week? That's what you're going to write down on that piece of paper. You're going to fold it up. You're going to put it in your jar. And then you're going to revisit those at the end of 2025. So join me in that habit. It's going to be so much fun. I've been doing it for a little while and I really like it. I really like it. And I think what I'm going to do, I think what I'm just thinking about this. I think what I'm going to do is probably within my community, we will like check in and share something at the end of each month. That's what I'm going to do because we're not going to wait. I can't wait a whole year to revisit. That's what I'm going to do within my community. I'm going to say, we're going to look at this. We're going to like go through and read those at the end of the month because it's important to keep your mind, keep your thoughts, keep your energy on that higher vibration. What we can't do is sit and focus on the things that didn't work out the way you hoped. Everything's working out for our good. It's just, it doesn't always feel that way, right? Like you have the disappointments, you have the setbacks. And it's so easy to get caught up in the muck of that and be like, ugh, and getting that sense of frustration. And you are only drawing in more frustration into your world. You're only drawing in that equal energy. Okay. So we want to like put a stop to that. We don't want to draw more of that into your world. So it's really important to keep in our forefront of our brain what is good, what is going right, what were the wins this month. At the end of each month you can go through and you can look at that and you'll be able to like remind yourself. And these are like could be it's really whatever was great in your opinion about your week. Like I said, these don't have to be big milestones. That's not what we're hanging around for. Those happen, those are wonderful, and we love them. But my friend, let me tell you, we cannot live our life from milestone to milestone. There's a lot of freaking days that happen in between those milestones, and you better be living your life to the fullest. Because if you're not, you are going to have this sense of discontentment and emptiness and frustration and in between the milestones. So what are you doing in between those big high points? What's going on for you? And so this habit is just a way to keep you on track so that you have that at the forefront of your mind. You're focusing on what is good, what went right, what were the wins for the week, and we're building on that. So at the end of 2025, we're going to have a whole jar full of all the things to go back and remind ourselves on. That's what we're going to do. Because life can beat you down. I get it. Like sometimes you just feel like you're getting the 1-2 punch. You're like, okay, man, give me a second, right? So we're going to do this. If you want to do it with me. Share it on social media. Share this podcast on social media. Tag me. It's at Flourish with Kristi on Instagram. I'm on TikTok too. So whatever, it's the Kristi Jones. If it's any other social platform, it's the Kristi Jones. But let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to share something on my social and go ahead and share it and say, join me. I'm going to do this. Come do this with us for 2025. It's going to be really cool. I think it'll be a lot of fun. If you're not on my email list, what are you doing? You need to be on my email list. If you're here listening to the podcast and you're not on my email list, you're missing out. There's like so many things. So many things. You want to be in the know. I share fun stuff. I'm not boring. Hello. I can't do boring. Okay. I just can't do boring. So get on my email list. Go down in the show notes. There will be an email address. Just click on that and just send the email and say email. All you got to do is say add to email, and I will get you the link. My team will get you the link to do that. Okay. So you stay up to date on everything, stay inspired, all the things, because we're going to do 2025 together. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for taking this ride with me on the podcast. It's been a wild one in 2024. It's been fun, but I appreciate you being here. I love that. I love that it's a place that we can hang out, we can learn, we can share, and I love to bring you great content. As always, I'm always taking your content ideas. So that's what you need to get to me too. I want to know, what do you want to talk about? Who do you want me to talk to? What kind of topics do you want to hear about? What do you want me to go deeper on? I want to know about that. Okay. Also, I meant to say this earlier before I close. Let me tell you this. This year has been a year where I have really reaped the benefits of focusing on my health and wellness. And I've been doing that for a really long time. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not here to sell you like a whole deal of, oh, I've done this, I've been doing this for 6 months or whatever, and everything's great. I have been focusing on my nervous system, on my body health, on my fitness, on building muscle, on all the things for longevity and balancing my body as I've gone through perimenopause. I'm still there, trying to get to the other side of that. Um, but this has been a great year for my health and wellness, for my brain health, for my nervous system, regulating my nervous system. My gosh, it's been everything. So I didn't want to close the year out without taking a second to remind you that you are in charge of your health and your wellness and your longevity. And I really hope you take that seriously. Your nervous system needs your attention. And it's probably, if you're not giving it the attention and you're not balancing your mind, body, doing the things to take care of your nervous system, because it regulates everything in your body. If you're not doing that, you're probably feeling the effects of that. You're probably feeling the effects of that. It's probably showing up in your life. And I get it. Like I hit the wall in, gosh, what was I? Mid 40s. Yeah. Like 44, 43, 44, 45. I started kind of coming out of it, 46. And when I finally brought all the things together, and I understood how to heal my nervous system, what I needed to do to keep that strong. And and then I had already had my fitness, has been a lifelong thing for me, but I really was able to even improve that and build muscle and get stronger. And the food, the protein, all the things, but the nervous system, please hear me on that. Like it's so important. It's so important. Nobody's going to do that for you. All right. And we are responsible for how we feel and how we age. How the thoughts that we have about it, like that's on us. Okay. Ain't nobody making me feel a certain way about me and aging and getting older. Like that's on me. Like I don't allow other people to tell me how it should be, how I should feel about it. No, I control that narrative, and it's been awesome. I feel so good. This year has been a year that, I mean, it doesn't mean, yeah, I got a cold, had an ear infection. I mean, those things happen. I'm talking about like overall wellness. like my energy level, my immune system good, my nervous system solid. I can tell when need to reel that back in, the things I need to do. Like I'm so tuned into that, and nothing is going to help make me deviate from that. Because once you've struggled, like if you've struggled in your health and your wellness, you've had, if I mean, everything, nervous system, mental health, whatever it is, you ain't going back. Like you already know, you already like did the hard work to get over that hurdle. And you're like, oh, hell no, I ain't going back. I'm not doing that again. Right. So I just want to encourage you that if you've been putting that off, if you're putting off your own wellness, if you've been putting that off, you need to strongly reconsider that because you are so shorting yourself on so much potential, shorting yourself of so much life that you can be enjoying and feel so much better about it and be excited about it. I think a lot of my enthusiasm about life is because I feel so positive about tomorrow, today, my well-being. I know that I'm trying. I'm not perfect. I don't eat perfect every day. That's not what this is about. I give my body what it needs to be its best. I give my brain what it needs every day to be its best. I do my best every day. Like I'm conscious and aware of it, of what I'm putting myself through. So I encourage you and I challenge you, put yourself at the top of the list. Make 2025 the year that you take care of you. Like we've got a lot of years, my friend. Okay. We're going to rock this thing. And I want you to feel amazing. I want you to be excited about it. So make sure that you are at the top of your list as we go into the first of next year. All right, my friend, I will see you in January. Have a great Christmas. I love you bunches for being here, and I'll see you in 2025. I want to thank you for tuning in today to the podcast, and I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and all the info that's been shared today. And I hope you've come away with a few ideas on how to make the most out of it for your life. If you loved this episode, be sure to share it with your friends and family. And also make sure you subscribe to the podcast and tap that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would leave a podcast review. So until next time, my friend, keep flourishing and thriving and live your life to the